We're back, and we are going to go and say a very good morning here to Chief Simeon Chekapish from Natuashish. Simeon, good morning.
Good morning, Randy.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. Bad news out of your community these days.
Well, it's always bad news, but don't be surprised. I don't think people shouldn't be surprised with numbers of abuse. We've been dealing with this solvent abuse for I don't know how many. I don't know how far can I go with this, but I don't think people shouldn't be surprised. But I think, but I urge people, your listeners and the ministers, especially the Child Youth Family Service minister, he should go down and check Best Boy Productions. I think you're in the St. John's area. Best Boy Productions, I think it's called First Contact, and I urge her to watch the movie, a documentary that was done by these people, the Mushwa Inu and Surviving Canada. Mm-hmm. A video. It's a documentary that's been plugged the problems over the Aboriginal people in Labrador. Not only Natuashish, the whole Labrador coast. Mm-hmm. So there are very similar problems that we face with Aboriginal communities today.
How many children do we have in Natuashish?
That's a good question, and I'm doing an investigation on my own on the numbers of the youth, and I'm also doing an investigation how many we baptized kids over the last 3 years. And
how many do you think you got?
Well, you're looking at probably close to 250, 300, and I stand to be corrected on that. You
sent me a copy of an audited form.
Yeah, and
on the band, they call your own raised revenues.
Yes, yeah.
And over that 3-year period, I saw hundreds of thousands of dollars going into trust funds in the individual names of children. 387 of them was on the list.
Yeah.
So these kids actually have things that the rest of us only dream of, a locally government-sponsored trust fund for their education and for whatever they need it for down the road. In fact, everybody in the community is receiving a little bit of a kickback, aren't they, from what's happening in Labrador right now?
Oh, I'm pretty sure, Randy, and I can say this on the radio airwaves. There's a lot of kickbacks being transpired over the last, before I came into power.
But in this instance, I'm talking about actually everybody in the community, right? I mean, in 3 years, on the form you showed me, there'd been $20 million going to that small community. It's a small community.
And that was the fact, yes.
Right, and
those are the facts, and they're undisputed.
Okay. So everybody tells me, and one of the things I got even an email this morning, Simeon, is that one of the problems that's causing the gas sniffing among youth is that they have nothing to do.
Oh, they got lots to do. They got lots to do here, Randy.
Explain.
Okay. Here's what I've been done for the last couple of years since I've been in as any democratic towns or cities that they go through as a government. But anyway. I built with the new multi-sports complex with the youth. That's been built, and I also.
Well, and you're a town of 800, and you have a multiplex sports facility
complex for the kids. Yeah.
Really?
Really, yeah.
And that was, that's right. As a matter of fact, I think that's actually listed in that list, isn't it? That multi-year sports complex?
That was listed in that was listed on one of the documents that I sent you. It was 5.9 million, I don't know.
And by the way, you got a new school, right?
I got a new school, yeah. We got a new school, and, hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, yep. And also, that sports complex was originally estimated the cost of the bidders of over $13 million. $13
million.
But I did it within $8 million, something like that, or $7.9 million. Something.
So you got the multiplex really and the school for the amount of money they were proposing would be paid just for the school at one point.
Yes, yeah.
That's okay. One would have to say, Simeon, that's good management of the thing. But here's my.
Furthermore, Andy. Before you get into your nitty-gritty stuff.
Well, no, okay.
There was a cabinet was started previous council 5 cabins in Border Beacon. They were just the shells. I finished those cabins, and I also, along with those cabins, I built a treatment center for the youth. So I think we have done. We got facilities.
So you also have a treatment center to deal with youth addiction problems.
Yes, we have started that, and I made a plan that with my current council back in 2010. And we built the treatment center within 1.5 year within our term, and then we have a treatment center, really beautiful treatment center in Border Beacon, up in the bush and up in the barrens, and we have 5 cabins to go with it. And we also built we did a lot of work on the planning stage. We planned the community for a 20-year plan. But that plan has been destroyed now, so there's no longer, the dream has been killed.
Okay, so
I have been monitored against solvent abuse for the period of time. Mm-hmm. Not only that, I trained security officers right in the community, which nobody ever knew about it. We don't hear about that stuff, and that's how I want to tackle the problems with solvent abuse, drug problem, bootlegging, drug smuggling, booze smuggling, and I had 20 certified securities graduated right in the community. So that dream has been killed. So anyway, people can say negative stuff, and the opposition has been feeding to the media, CBC, which I don't have no time with CBC to talk to, and the only people I can talk to are VOCM, and that's it, because they twist and put the words into the stuff that is not true. But
all right, I got to get to this. I got to get to this issue with you, though.
Yeah,
I got to get through this issue.
Get to it.
The people in Newfoundland and Labrador, particularly those sitting here on the island.
Yeah.
We look at the story of Davis Inlet. We look at the story of Shengo Bay. We look at the story of Natuashish.
Yes.
I look at those audited accounts.
Yeah.
There is no community in this entire nation, Simeon, that has the advantages yours does. No community of 800 on this continent, I'd go so far as to say, can turn around and say, yeah, we had $20 million to spend in 3 years from our own source revenues, and everything else got funded by the feds and the province. We have a treatment center, a school, a multiplex rec center. We even have a trust fund paid for, money going into it for all our children. And you've got a gas sniffing problem, and people are telling me it's because the kids are unoccupied and got nothing to do. Are you kidding me?
Well, I think I sympathize your jealousy and all that stuff. But
well, we are jealous. We're envious.
I sympathize you guys. I envy you guys. But
what is it you envy about? What is it you envy about that? I can name I can name 20. I'll say 20 communities of 800 people, and they're walking around and they're doing turkey teas to try and come up with enough money to see if they can put in a kids' softball field.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
And you've got an $8 million multiplex for your kids. Oh, please, you people, whatever it is, Simeon, your people have a problem, and I'm not sure we can fix it anymore.
No, I'm not asking the Canadians to fix it. I'm not asking that. We're not asking to fix our problem. I'm not asking anybody to fix this problem. But I'm asking, when the federal government had a fiduciary responsibility, they are liable. They are accountable.
But how much?
I give you a chance to say.
Simeon, where does it end?
Give me time to talk this.
No. I understand. But
family services have responsibility or protection under these youth when they're under 16. They are liable. They are responsible. They are accountable, as I am accountable to any other problems which I'm trying to address here. And I think agreements with us. And once you sign a legal binding agreement, then you are responsible. So, under these child protection acts, these kids, Aboriginal kids, apply. If that happens into Newfoundland, I'm pretty sure the federal government will parachute some dollars to Newfoundland or elsewhere in Canada. There will be response to the
except
question.
Simeon.
But I'm not saying.
Simeon, your problem is not.
I'm not.
Your problem is not dollars. You guys haven't got a dollar problem.
No. I'm not saying that, but the resources. Remember that resources. We don't have enough resources. There's only a few numbers of people in Labrador.
If you don't have enough resources, and I'm assuming you're talking about professional administrators.
We don't have.
Why don't you hire it? Why don't you hire it?
And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to bring a professional team here along.
Yeah, you don't need anybody's help to do that. You don't need anybody's help to do that.
People have done their part, but I'm not taking the full. The people are not going to take a full responsibility of what's happening here. Policing, we don't have that in here.
You're not going to take responsibility for what's happening there now?
Are responsible for that. So some of the stuff there are some people who are responsible for this program.
My God, man.
They got to deliver it, and I'm like I said, I take some responsibility, not all full responsibility. The Musqueam First Nations will not take a full responsibility.
Well, I can tell you right now, as one native Newfoundlander, all right, to one Aboriginal Newfoundlander and Labradorian, let me tell you, as the guy who helps pay the bills, and you, the guy who helps spend the money, we both got a role. Enough. It has to stop. I look at what you guys got, and I'm saying enough. Start spending it right.
Kids are having problems in St. John's. Now, I want you to say that to the same people what you're saying to me. Enough is enough.
Enough.
Tell that to the people. And I'm not going to show up in here and say, look, they are responsible. The Child Youth Family Services are responsible for underage of kids, under 16 of age.
Absolutely.
And that's where they're going to be responsible. If beyond that, they're not responsible. I take full responsibility for that. And I'm going to use the accent. I'll take advantage of it. Whatever I can take advantage, I'll take advantage.
I tell you what, you tell the elders, you tell the elders this year. I got to go to break. You tell the elders this year, Simeon, there will be no trip to St. Anne de Beaupré. We're not blowing $200,000 on that this year. This trip to St. Anne de Beaupré. We're going to try and deal with this issue with the kids. We're going to hire 3 counselors at $60,000 or $70,000 a year each and bring them in to work on this kind of stuff and start doing things along that. But I think everybody has got to recognize you can only go so far. And I can't help think sometimes we've turned our Aboriginal community into professional victims.
But I think sometimes
my God, man,
communities have been used as scapegoats, and that's another part.
Well,
I think we're playing politics and playing. Everybody plays politics, but I think I'm going to take advantage. But like I said,
well, I'm trying to not play politics.
A big measure step up my responsibility as a leader here in the community, and I'm going to do it. And I'll follow whatever I can do, and I'll take advantage of those programs if I have to.
Well, Simeon,
I'll go to Parliament Hill.
And by the way, I'm all for that. I hear where you're coming from. I got no problem with that aspect of it. I got to ask you this question though. The last question I'm going to ask you because I'm really over time here. I got to go.
Yeah.
I received last year or the year before, I'm not sure when it was. You may have been chief at the time. You may have been running. I'm not sure. My memory is a little foggy. There was talk that you could actually get a gasoline to use in the system where this whole gas sniffing thing, addiction thing couldn't happen. That the gas would not perform, and that there have been other native communities where this gas was brought in. And given that this is Natuashish is a somewhat confined and isolated community, why wasn't that explored further and done so that this gas sniffing thing just couldn't happen?
That's still ongoing, Randy. That's still ongoing, that exploration that you're mentioning, and I think and I praise your comments about that gas that's I don't know what's it called now, but they're still exploring up north, and I think that's probably the best way to go about it. But then again, you got to deal with other solvents, glue. And the whole 9 yards. I mean, I walked around downtown last week in St. John's, and I could see a lot of criminal activity going on in there.
I think there's a significant. I think the biggest thing that's happening in the community in Natuashish on the outside looking in is that you have a serious generational problem attached to both the challenge of education. And the biggest issue of that, I think, is the challenge to parenting. And I don't know how you're going to fix that external expertise is required, but I don't know if you don't have an internal desire or commitment to achieve the change. I don't know that the change in the end can happen. I know you're in a challenging little cycle, but I gotta say to you, right, we gotta stop playing the victim card when you're sitting there with more in your community and more opportunity in your community than any other community of 800 could hope to have. And you gotta recognize that, and you gotta start using it better.
Well,
I guess.
Randy, I have, like I said, I'm a former addiction counselor, and there's a plan that's in place now with the parenting skills that we're going to offer to the community. Well, then again, you're not going to make the horse drink the water if he doesn't want to drink the water, right?
Sadly, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Hands are tied. I mean, we're going to try to do our best. I mean, we're going to do the parenting training. We're going to do all kinds of programs with solving abuse, but we're not going to make them force parents if they don't want to do something. But then again, there will be consequences under kids under 16. I mean, they need safety and protection. They need safety and protection. But over 16 above that, well, that's my problem. That's our problem. The community, it's a community problem. And as a parents got to chip in that kind of stuff. I strongly urge your listeners, go talk to Best Boy Productions and get those videos out of them, Surviving Canada. And you're going to see some plans that we try to implement within those programs. But we're not getting the cooperation that we need from both levels of government. And I think I'm going down to Parliament Hill and to make my case. And if I have to go and protest in Parliament Hill, by God means I'll do it.
Simeon Chekapesh.
And I can do certainly with the Harper government.
Simeon Chekapesh, Chief of the Band Council at Natuashish, thank you for this. We will chat again. Take care.
God, yeah, I will for sure.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. I feel bad. I don't know how you solve the problem. It makes you sound like you're a bigot or something, because you're dealing with an Aboriginal community. It's an identifiable minority in our citizenry. But throwing money at it it just isn't working. Anybody with a solution? What works?